The organization Moms for Liberty, which you'll be shocked to find out is a far-right group, has filed an 11-page complaint about a few books that are being taught in a school district. So let's jump into a bit of this complaint to give you an idea of what they want to get banned under a new critical race theory ban law. So they have this violation. They say that these grade 2 civil rights heroes being taught about, we should not be using these books like Martin Luther King Jr. and the March on Washington. Ruby Bridges Goes to School, My True Story by Ruby Bridges. The Story of Ruby Bridges, Separate is Never Equal. These sorts of things are, they say, explicit and implicitly anti-American, anti-white, and anti-Mexican. It teaches second grade children that people of color continue to be oppressed by an angry, vicious, scary, mean, loud, violent, rude, and hateful white population. And so those books, Nina, now need to be taken out because apparently these books for kids about the March on Washington are doing a critical race theory, and so they need to be banned. It's not cancel culture though, somehow. It's not cancel culture, but what do you think about this?
John, I just can't. They use the critical race theory as a cloak for their true intentions, which is they do not want the good, the bad, and the ugly part of this country, this experiment, this American experiment to be taught. That is revisionist history. And they really are, now you want to talk about some dangerous games. To try to tell children that what happened didn't happen. Was there not a March on Washington? Did Ruby Bridges exist? Was there not enslavement in the United States of America? Did this country not take the lands of our indigenous sisters and brothers and family and friends? Jesus, was there not women not given the right to vote until they had to fight for that right to vote? I mean, this stuff is insanity. But let me go back and center this thing because they do not want the history, the true history of this country to be taught in any way. They don't want to be discomforted in any way at all. Well, baby, slavery existed in this country. They did that. Black people had to march for their civil rights in this country, including voting, economic rights. And yes, are some of those things still happening in this country? Absolutely right now today. You know what? I ain't even got to go way back. Let me just step into 2008, if we might, during the Great Recession, where Black people lost 50% of their wealth through their home. Jesus, let's look at the criminal injustice system, the legal system. What are these people talking about, John? They living in la la land. And it is the height of not just hypocrisy. I feel sorry for them in a way. Because to try to manipulate your children in that way and not want them to know the truth. It is only the truth about this country. It's a multifaceted truth, but there's truth. Jesus, we getting that 30-second sign. I'm telling you, John.
I know. I love everything that you're saying. You're 100% right. They do not want history to be taught. If they're successful, we will look back on the history being taught in the 1950s as being comparatively accurate and all-encompassing. And that is a sad state to be in. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.